Well, welcome. What an amazing song. Lee Greenwood always reminds me of times I spent with FFA many years ago while a member of the Atkinson FFA chapter in Section 3. Greetings, my name is Michael Woods. I'm coming to you from Illinois College, a new liberal arts program that's offering a new agribusiness program to residents across the state as well as around the nation, interested in looking at agriculture and agricultural education as well as the ag industry in a diverse way. So I'm excited to be here, an opportunity to share with you, answer any questions that you may have. But before I get started answering any questions, I want to share a little bit about who I am and a little bit about Illinois College. As noted, my name is Michael Woods. I'm originally from Atkinson, which is in the northern part of Illinois in Section 3, and was a small rural family farm. Grew up in a small town, thought for sure I would pursue a career in agriculture. My grandfather was the matriarch of the family, had a career as a farmer, but he told me that he didn't want me to pursue a career in agriculture. And I think that because he had felt so many hardships during his time as a producer during World War II and thereafter and throughout the 80s. But throughout high school, I was fortunate to be exposed to what one of the most attributing people that I contribute everything to, and that's my high school ag teacher, Mr. Roger Carr. He's now out in Indiana, but he was an amazing ag teacher. He engaged me and took a young man that was passionate about an industry and wanted to learn many new things. And so he opened up opportunities to me through the FFA and through agricultural education. We became very active in livestock judging as well as many other CDEs throughout the FFA program. We went on and won the National Livestock Judging Contest for 4-H, went on to represent the United States in Europe, and thought for sure that I'd pursue a career in animal science. So I attended Blackhawk East after graduation from Atkinson and had a wonderful experience there as well. A great community college, tribute to find opportunities to open up avenues for me in agriculture as well. I did very well in livestock judging while at Blackhawk, and went on and decided that I wanted to pursue a degree not in animal science, but I wanted to pursue a career that would allow me to educate and to inform people about this dynamic industry that I was choosing, and that's agriculture. So I transferred to the University of Illinois and majored in agricultural communications, specifically because I was intrigued by and interested in the 1980s, or at least in the late 80s, the image that was being put forward about agriculture and farmers. And that was often that the farmer was not as smart as the weed and or as smart as the dog that found the solution. And I always thought that was wrong, because my grandfather was an amazing individual. He was a producer that had so many insights. He had knowledge of the business side, the production side, animal science, mechanic, everything I could possibly imagine. And he always found solutions. And so I thought that that would be something I wanted to be part of, is to help share a new image of what agriculture was about. So I majored in ag communications. While I was sitting at the U of I, though, in my course as I transferred in, I was sitting in a large marketing class. I think there was over 600 kids in the marketing class. And from a small town to a large school, I was disillusioned. I was having a hard time, and I thought I was going to drop out. I was a first-generation student to go into college. My mother had dropped out at high school, and my father had an 8th grade education, and college wasn't necessarily always in the path for everybody in our family. But I knew it was for me. And so I was sitting in my class there and had a wonderful guest speaker that day. And 2 young ladies talked about this opportunity where they traveled around the country and they represented a Fortune 500 company. And I thought, I've got to land that job. All my experiences both in FFA and or with 4-H and agriculture in general, I felt led me to being able to pursue that job. So I applied. I was very fortunate to be then offered an opportunity to travel around the nation and represent Oscar Mayer, driving the Wienermobile. So I learned a lot about life driving a 23-foot-long hot dog. It was a great experience for 1 year. Traveled the United States, came back home, primed to pursue my education. Finished up my bachelor's degree and my master's degree at the U of I, and in ag communications and extension education. Worked for the Illinois, 2 governors at that time, worked for the Illinois Department of Ag, coordinated the Illinois Ag Youth Institute. Decided that I wanted to continue on living in the dream of helping to share the message of agriculture. So I became a copywriter in an advertising agency, specifically dedicated to the ag industry. Moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, became a copywriter for an advertising agency there. While I enjoyed that a great deal and was putting to use my degrees in ag communications and marketing and so forth, I wanted to get back on the road. And so Oscar Mayer offered me an opportunity to go back on the road. So I moved to Canada and represented the United States at the International Wienermobile Program and traveled all over Eastern Canada. Had an amazing year, learned so much about cultures and different people around the nation, our world, and so forth. Small town boy, all of a sudden realized there were a lot of different cultures and a lot of different experiences and new foods out there too. So I wanted to go beyond that. So I came back home, decided to pursue my graduate degree and a PhD. I followed a colleague and a professor from University of Illinois that went to Iowa State, got my PhD in ag education at Iowa State. During that time, I lived in Slovakia and the Ukraine, taught the Slovak Agriculture University and the Ukrainian Agriculture University. Returned home, went to Michigan State, enjoyed myself there. Decided to return home because what I was doing in Michigan was helping rural value-added businesses, farms, predominantly find new ways to add value to their operations. So I helped start up wineries, marketing aspects of wineries and so forth. Decided I wanted to do that myself. So I returned home to Atkinson, bought a farm, decided I wanted to pursue an opportunity in starting my own business. It was wonderful. During that period of time, I worked for the University of Illinois Extension in Rock Island County as the county director. Worked with youth extension education, horticulture education. Had a wonderful time there. Sadly, the University of Illinois was going through a downturn, or all of extension around the nation, so I was pursued a new opportunity in my career. The winery was doing well, but then 2008 hit, and I learned a lot, and the economy plummeted my operation. Prior to that, though, I had killed my vines. I learned a lot about growing vines in the Midwest, and had a wonderful experience, but out of those failures came many opportunities. I then pursued an opportunity to get back into education, and was offered an opportunity to go to Spoon River Community College in Canton, Illinois. Great experience there. Worked with a lot of young students that were interested in the production side of ag industry and getting back out and producing the industry. Then all of a sudden this amazing opportunity opened up at Illinois College, where I was given an opportunity to start an ag business program, a program that I found to be very interesting in a liberal arts college. Going to a land-grant institution, I knew nothing about a liberal arts education and or what it offered me. And so when I came here for an interview, I was walking on the streets of Jacksonville before going in, and I kept seeing these headstones, and I kept thinking, interesting town. They bury their people on the corner or on their street sides and so forth. It was not the case. I went over and read the sign, and the sign said, "The home of Jonathan Baldwin Turner." And I was perplexed by that because as a U of I graduate and a person that attended U of I, if you ever walked on the main quad, look up at Davenport Hall, it says the Millennium of Labor, Jonathan Baldwin Turner, or JBT. So I was perplexed by that because I was confused. I always thought he was at the University of Illinois. Then I came on to the main campus quad here, and I was walking through campus, and right in the center of campus is an Osage orange tree. For any of you that grew up in a rural community or on a farm, you know what an Osage orange is. And I was intrigued by why they would have an Osage orange with large fruit potentially could drop on people in the middle of campus. And beneath that tree stood an amazing sign that made me realize that Illinois College is my home. It said, "In tribute to Jonathan Baldwin Turner, the father of the Land Grant Act, in honor of the 150th anniversary of the University of Illinois." I knew I had returned to the place that I wanted to be, a place that it all started. Education in and about agriculture really started right here at IC, the oldest degree granting institution in the state. I knew I had to be here to help establish an agricultural program that paid tribute to Jonathan Baldwin Turner, but also advocated for all the things that he talked about. And that was he wanted a practical and a liberal education in and about agriculture. The practical side meant the science. We have amazing institutions across the state of Illinois doing wonderful things for the science of agriculture. They're also jumping into and realizing it's important to understand the liberal side. What is the liberal side? It's the humanities, the human element of agriculture. Science becomes exciting and will help achieve many things in the ag industry if we understand that it's also about people. That's what a liberal arts education is about. It's about bringing together all the different disciplines, not just one or two disciplines, but the transdisciplinary approach to look at how agriculture can be at the center of all of society and all of life. And so that's what brought me to IC. I'm really excited about being here. Our program has expanded over the past 3 years. We've gone from 0 students to where I'm now advising 89 students. This year, we're graduating our first large crop of students that have gone through the program, and all of them have been assigned a job or found a job right after graduation. So it's very exciting to be part of something dynamic. It's exciting to be part of something that's growing and developing. That's a little bit about myself and how I'm here at IC. IC, as I noted, it was established in 1829. It is the oldest degree granting institution in the state of Illinois. It was established by a band of young men, missionaries, that came out to the West in the 1800s to start what they call the Yale of the West. And it was the premier institution. It was the first medical school in the state. It was also perceived to, planned to be the University of Illinois back in the day, but politics as it was, moved the University of Illinois over to Champaign rather than here in Jacksonville. And so that's a little bit about our institution. Right now we have, it's a small liberal arts college. We have just around 1,000 students, which makes it perfect for having one-on-one contact with our professors. I have an amazing relationship with each and every one of my students. Either they can text me, they can call me, they can email me, they can stop in my office at all times. That's what a liberal arts college is about. Not only providing you a dynamic, diverse education and looking at a variety of issues in a holistic approach, but realizing that you're more than a number, realizing that you are a person, and realizing that you want one-on-one contact with all your professors, and you want your professors to teach your classes, and you want a dynamic relationship with your classmates. And also one final thing that I'll mention about IC. We call it about the and. Here at IC, you can major in agribusiness management, biology, chemistry, music, agricultural education, and participate in sports. 62% of my students are some sort of an athlete. Many of my students are in the musical or pep band. Many of my students are in the theater. One of my incoming students will be joining the debate and speech team. It's all those ands that you can do at a small liberal arts college, whereas some of the larger institutions, it's harder because you're competing against so many more students. Here, you can have a full dynamic experience that allows you to explore all aspects of your life. If you're interested in theater and sports and or music or anything other than just agriculture, you can explore many things here. So it's the and that we celebrate. It's the degree and whatever you want to achieve. So with that, I open up the platform for any questions. Would love to answer any questions that you may have about Illinois College, my philosophy, belief, how Illinois College can prepare you to achieve your career success. So feel free to send any of those questions in. In the meantime, I will also share a few other things, a little bit about IC, if that helps out, to get some more things started here. As I noted, Illinois College is ready to prepare students to meet the vast opportunities facing the ag industry. We ensure that current and future students achieve their educational and career goals, just as alumni have for almost over 200 years here at IC. As a liberal arts education, we prepare students to examine ideas from multiple points of views, solve problems, adapt, and most of all, collaborate by combining multiple disciplines of study. Liberal arts colleges, we tend to expose students to a wide range of subjects, encouraging them to think outside of a narrow focus and contribute to the original solutions. All skills that are highly sought after by the agricultural industry as they learn to navigate changes in society, demanding more and more divergent results to solve existing and exciting challenges facing the ag industry. So let me see here. I have a few questions. Well, maybe if I can find the questions here. I'm not sure why the question box is not opening up for me. Let me see if I can comments. How do I? Sorry about that technical difficulty at the moment. It's not letting me find your comments. 8 comments, but I can't get them to open. Well, Megan, I might need to have you text me and tell me why I'm not getting the comments to open up. All I have is a last one that says pin. So one of the questions that was posed to me says, what advice do you have for students who are trying to decide where to go? What I often do is tell people to look into their heart and say, what kind of experience do you want? What kind of relationship do you want? Every institution in the state of Illinois has amazing dynamic programs, that's for sure. We have premier agricultural institutions. It's just about differences in size, difference of what your desires are and your career interests. Every degree leads somewhere in the ag industry. That's the beautiful thing about it. You can get a degree in animal science, soil science, chemistry, agronomy, whatever it may be, and those will all contribute to your success in the ag industry. Or here at W College, we have an agribusiness management program, and a lot of our students get a dual degree in environmental science, biology, communications, education, and now we have a new ag education program that will start this coming fall. And so a lot of students are combining those things together. What I often tell students to think about is what kind of experience do they want? Do they want a large institution? Because large institutions also provide a lot of different opportunities too. And for a small town kid that came from a town of less than 1,000 people, I wanted something different. I went to U of I. Well, I first went to a community college that was small, and it was perfect for me because it aligned with my desires and my needs to connect with people. I went to the U of I, had a great experience there. I can't speak highly enough about my experience there. But it was also a large institution, and I found myself lost at times. So I had to learn to navigate that. For some small town kids, that may be a challenge. So maybe a smaller liberal arts college like W College, or even one of the smaller community colleges would be ideal for you. Regardless of where you go or what type of institution you select, I think it's important to understand that higher education will open up many avenues for you in education or in the ag industry. So don't stop. Don't think that, well, I just barely made it through high school, or I didn't really like high school, so I shouldn't go on. College is dynamic. College is different than high school, and I encourage you highly to go somewhere and to pursue something beyond your high school degree. There are many opportunities in the ag industry, and a degree is required for many of those openings. I also think that it's important to look at what type of relationship you want with your faculty. Do you want a relationship that maybe a faculty member comes in and out, you have teaching assistants, which provide a very different perspective as well? Or do you want a faculty member that really is right there holding your hands and helping you through every step of the way? Not to say the larger institutions don't do that. They do. It just depends on the size of the institution. I can tell you here at IC, you are more than your social security number. You are a person. And what's nice about it is it's an amazing, beautiful campus. You're going to get all of those wonderful things that you seek in a larger institution, but you're also going to get to know everybody. And everybody's going to be there watching out to help you navigate every single aspect of your career and your education. Education is not about just what's happening in the classroom. It's also happening around you. And so you want to make sure that everybody's there to help you succeed and open up avenues in each of those venues. So that was one question, and I hope that helps to answer that. The other one says, what type of clubs, extracurricular activities do your colleges have? Here at IC, we have a lot of extracurricular activities. As I noted, the majority of our students do participate in some sort of sports. We have all sorts of sports. We have a football team, basketball team, volleyball team, swimming, track. We have a new drum line coming in. We have music. We have pep bands. We also have social fraternities. We have liberal, what we call in liberal arts society. We often have our societies where they get together and have speech and debate and talk about various issues. Here at IC, we also have the IC Aggies. And within the IC Aggies, we're starting a collegiate FFA, a collegiate 4-H. We're also looking at a collegiate farm bureau. We hope to get that going here soon. We have starting efforts with the AFA. We're also looking and have been advanced with NAMA, which is the National Agri-Marketing Association. So all of those opportunities, and what we did here at IC was put them all under the umbrella of IC Aggies. That way a student doesn't have to feel as though they have to choose between one or the other because it's in a different department or a different area. They can participate in IC Aggies, and they can ebb and flow between any of the clubs that they so desire. They can get in and out of an activity with PAS. They can participate in a NAMA activity. They can do any of those, and they don't have to feel that takes away from their opportunities to participate in all opportunities. So that's what we do here. I know at some of the other institutions, they're very distinctive clubs, and you have to make a choice between which ones you want to participate. So those are some of the things with regards to clubs. Well, we highly encourage it here at faculty and or students. We'll ask that you get involved. The best students are the ones that are actively involved. It's not just about your time in the classroom. Your classroom, your grades are important, but I can tell you many employers are going to say, what else did you do? Did you get involved with a variety of activities? Did you involve and engage and practice your skill sets by participating in clubs and working to learn to navigate? Did you put on activities? What kind of things did you do? Were you an athlete? Many of my students, as noted, are athletes, and I tell them that that's a full-time job for some of them. And they're participating in things and tasks every day. They're getting up and having to work out and be motivated and then show up to team meetings and then show up to competitions throughout the semester, whenever that may be. Those are full-time jobs, and those skill sets acquired through athletics and or music or any other extracurricular activity are valuable. And a lot of times I contend, and I tell my students, are even more valuable than what they'll learn in my classroom. Because I can tell you that in my classrooms and many classrooms, what we teach you today will probably be passé and outdated by the time you graduate. Why? Because the ag industry is so dynamic. What we're teaching you is learning how to learn and learning how to navigate the constant change that's before you. And so doing more than just learning the content at the moment, learning how that content applies, learning how that content is growing and developing and evolving. That's what students need to be getting out of their education. All right, so hopefully I answered that question. One of the other questions says, what specific goals do you have for the future of the program? Well, that's an exciting question. I can tell you that many of my colleagues in my administration are always saying, Michael, slow down, slow down. You don't have to accomplish everything in a day. I realized that Rome wasn't built in a day, but at the same time, Rome was built because one brick after another was being laid. And here at IC, what we continue to grow is our program, our students, opportunities, new courses, connections across campus, trying to get involved with students and realizing that agriculture is so dynamic that anyone can pursue a career in it. So somebody could be getting a major in education or English and still pursue a career in agriculture. One of the most exciting venues that we're really proud of is we recently had Dr. Penny Whitler join us, and she is heading up a new agricultural education and science education initiatives for us, and we will have a new ag ed program in place, and it's going to be a different model. It's going to be one that's going to prepare future ag teachers for the ebb and flow and the changes that are taking place in the ag industry and ag education as well. It's going to be different because you're going to be exploring all kinds of horizons, not just the traditional only. You're going to be looking at the vast opportunities that are presented. You're going to get a strong set of skill sets when it comes to business, science, and educational methodologies and pedagogies. You're going to get hands-on experiences, and Dr. Whitler is already getting the program up and going. She brings to the table a tremendous amount of experience, both in the high school classroom, at the college level, at the university level, at the community college level, at the organizational level with regards to PAS and FFA. She will provide many opportunities for our students to understand what it means to be a successful ag teacher. And so I do encourage people to learn more about that. Getting connected with Dr. Whitler is wonderful. She's a personal person. We go back many years, and what I love about working with Dr. Whitler is she's very compassionate. She cares about her students. And to me, that's what I would look for when I look for an institution is, do my faculty have that compassion to care about what I want to achieve? Not just a cookie cutter education, but what I as an individual want to achieve. And I can tell you that's one of the things you would acquire here at IC with all of our faculty, not just Dr. Whitler or myself, but everybody that you would be engaging in one way or another. So hopefully that answers that question. How did your graduating students get their future job connections? great questions. One of the things that we try to do is make sure that internships and or work experience, and the reason I use that word in two separate ways is we have the formal internship. Students are required to take a 2-credit internship once at least within their program. I encourage and strongly work with every single ag student that they will have a work experience or an internship every single summer, and for many of my students, even during the academic year. I work closely with them, getting them connected with jobs so that they can explore what they want to achieve. The best job or best way to find a job is having a good internship. They open up doors. You network, you mentor, you get great hands-on experiences. The things that you can accomplish and achieve in your career can be established once you start with an internship. And so I work closely with every single student in our program to make sure that they have dynamic work experiences. I check in with them regularly. I think some of my students get a little bit overwhelmed because I'm constantly emailing them saying, what do you have on your plate for the summer? What are you doing this fall? Where are your experiences coming? So that's the first and foremost thing. Our industry is small, and so being connected and being networked is important. And every internship leads you to more connections with new individuals and or new aspects of the industry. So that's probably the first and foremost way that I get students to get connected with the industry. Can I talk about some scholarship opportunities? How do students get interested in transferring to IC? Well, we have made it very easy to help transfer to IC. One of the things that I like about the liberal arts college is we're focused on the humanities in a lot of ways. And so we will work with you on whatever classes that you have completed and try to find a path for you here at IC. We make it easy. I work directly with every single student. I've been at community colleges before, so I understand the community college education. And most of all, I very much value it. I think that it's the foundation to many higher education opportunities for many students coming out of agricultural education. So coming through IC or through a community college is great. We'll make it easy. We'll help you step through into the opportunities and the paths. Scholarship opportunities, don't get shocked by ticket prices that you will often see on many higher education institutions. There are a lot of scholarships. Here at IC, we have a discount rate. We help work with our students to make sure that it's an affordable education. The majority of our students, their education price would be equivalent to any other state institution that they may attend. So if not for some, are even cheaper. I had some students that transferred with me down to IC from a community college, and they actually found it cheaper to come to IC, or less expensive. I despise using the word cheaper because quality education should never be perceived as cheap. It's always less expensive. They found it less expensive than some of the other institutions they were considering, both out of state and in state. I highly encourage all of our students to stay in state. I don't want to see us lose more dynamic ag students to other states. I would love to see them stay here. We have wonderful higher education institutions, 4-year community colleges, tech prep programs and everything that can prepare every single student. So I hope you stay here. That's one thing. Scholarships. There are thousands and thousands of dollars that go applied for throughout the ag industry. And so I work with our students to make sure that they are seeking the available industry scholarships. We also have a lot of scholarships available to our students for a variety of tasks. We have athletic opportunities. There are various means by which to find funds for college and higher education. I encourage you to work with an admissions counselor to navigate what are the options you would need for your family. I, as an individual, I know I send out thousands of emails, it seems like, showcasing scholarships that do come available. And every student that really needs money, you can find money. And we're glad to help you navigate that. Another question is, let's see here. I'm trying to see if it looks like that's about all the questions I have. I do invite you to, if you want to learn more about both liberal arts education, Illinois College, or how I can help you out, my contact information is provided there. Please email me, call me, whatever I can do to help you navigate. I'm also more than glad to share the story of how I got to where I'm at and the educational institutions I attended. I'm very proud of my education, and it's helped me to lead to where I'm at. I'm really excited about the dynamic future that's before us here at Illinois College, and I think this is a great opportunity for many of those students that are looking for a unique broad, holistic approach to their education. I invite you to come join us, come tour our facility. We had a beautiful campus here in Jacksonville. It's absolutely stunning. Come over and check out what's going on with our ag education initiatives. Give myself a call or contact me, and I can put you in contact with Dr. Whitler as well. So again, I leave you with an opportunity to think about that community colleges are great opportunities. Illinois College and all the other institutions around the nation or around the state are there prepared to offer up exciting dynamic opportunities. We at IC would love to welcome you and introduce you to our new program and showcase how you can help leave a legacy by creating a new path for many that behind you and to open up opportunities for you in your career. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to leave you with a little Lee Greenwood as well. As I noted, he influenced my life as an FFA member, and every FFA convention always made me feel dynamic and proud and excited to enter this career of agriculture. And so I hope you join us and come check out IC. Thanks so much.